Good afternoon, boys and girls. Today is, well, geez, I don't know where it is. Have been in a time loop, or not loop, but like a time in a distant future for almost 2 weeks now. For me, it is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. For you, I'm going to wager a bet that it is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. But regardless of what the date is, we are here together. And honestly, what more could you possibly want? That's what's most important. I've got a great stream lined up for you today. We're going to continue working on our game. And yes, it is our game. It's not just me doing this, it's us. We're doing this together. But if it makes any money, I'll make all the money. But it still is, in spirit, our game, right? It still is. Just take it like that. I've actually done quite a bit of work off stream. I haven't been streaming that much because, as some of you might know, I am in Fiji. I still am in Fiji. And so I'm in Fiji. So forgive me if I haven't streamed as often as I normally do. I thought that I might, but I ended up not. I've been doing stuff. I've been going out. I've been exploring. I've been trying to record video for my travel channel, which is Addy Goes Places. This channel is Addy Goes Live, but check out Addy Goes Places. Videos from Fiji will probably be appearing in 6 months. I don't know. I still have the Norway trip to finish posting videos of, and then after that, Montreal, and then Fiji. But here in Fiji, it's been kind of awesome. I have really enjoyed my time in Fiji, even despite the heat, because if anybody who knows me personally, they know that I love Diet Mountain Dew, and they know that I hate the heat, and that I hate humidity, and that my least favorite time of year is summer. And so why would I come to a place where it is summer 365 days a year? The weather here is actually very reminiscent of Miami. Actually, I would say Miami's weather is a little worse. It's not quite as oppressive here in Fiji as it was in Miami. Now, of course, I am on the western side of the country. I am in a city called Nadi, which is weird because I've learned a bit about Fiji in my time here. But one of those things that I've learned is that they will put a random "in" into words. For example, the place where I'm at now, it's spelled Nadi, Nadi. That's how any sane person would pronounce it, Nadi, right? But I kept hearing people say Nandi. And I'm like, is this the same place? No, they put an "in" into the word just randomly. So even though it's spelled Nadi, they say Nandi. There's also another town called Sigatoka. So I'm thinking oh yeah, I'm gonna go down to Sigatoka. No, it's Singatoka. Not Sigatoka, Singatoka. So they just put these random "ins" into words. But yeah, so the weather here on the western side of the country, where I'm at, the western side of the island, it's hot. It's hot. But I will tell you, when I went to Tahiti a couple of years ago, you can check out my videos from Tahiti. If you go to Addy Goes Places and you search for Tahiti, you'll see all my videos from Tahiti. And kind of towards the end of that trip, I had kind of come around, and I wouldn't say I enjoyed the weather, but I could tolerate it more, is what I would say. And so when I came here, I knew it was going to be hot. I knew it was going to be humid. And I came with this mindset of, because when I left Tahiti, I was actually really sad to leave Tahiti because I really, really enjoyed Tahiti. And so I came here with this same mindset of, well, how can I, let me embrace Fiji. Let me kind of embrace the heat and humidity the way that I started to embrace it in Tahiti. And I did. And it worked. I went outside last night. I had to go downtown. I wanted to go to the grocery store, and it was right around sunset. And I stepped outside, and I'm like, I shit you not. I stepped outside, and I'm like, ooh, it feels a little chilly. And it felt a little chilly, probably because it was 79 degrees as opposed to the 85 degrees that it normally is. So anyway, I've been embracing I've been embracing the heat and humidity. Now, I still do try to avoid going outside. Like this time of day is the worst. It's 11 o'clock. It's going to be hot, humid. Like it's going to be terrible. The sun's going to be so strong. But by 2 or 3 o'clock, we'll be golden. And by then, I will be done talking to you fine people. And then I can leave and I can go explore some more of the western side of Fiji. But for now, we're going to explore this game. Now, let me show you what I've done. I spent a good amount of time just kind of refactoring. Now, if you don't know what refactoring is, it's basically rearranging code. It's not necessarily changing functionality. It is changing the way the code is structured. And generally, you do refactoring because you want to improve the structure of the code. And there's various reasons you might do that: for maintainability, for optimization, for maybe you need to improve your build process, or maybe you need to have some code that was once just used at one place, now it's going to be shared among other places. There's all kinds of reasons that you'll refactor your code. So I spent some time refactoring, and if you look at the scripts folder here, I went ahead and I kind of put everything into like nice little compartments, tried to make it all nice and neat. And of course, all of this code is available online. I will put a link to the code, to the project, in the description. And so if you want to take a look at it, you can take a look at it. And then, what did I do? I don't know that I changed any functionality. Did I? Oh, so I spent a great deal of time, actually, let me stop this, and I'll show you actually what I spent a good deal of time doing. So we now have, if I go into, if I go into, where is it? Personality traits, and this is under the common NPC folder. And so I kind of ended up going down a bit of a rabbit hole, because I was thinking, like, right now when we ask, so you're going to see something strange in a minute, but what I wanted was, right now when you give this NPC a command, right? I'm going to give it a command. What was happening is that the NPC would execute the command right away. It's just like, if I tell it follow, boom, right away it switches it to its follow state. If I tell it stay, boom, right away it switches to its stay state. So I started going down this rabbit hole of thinking, like, okay, so what I want is, I want a decision state, right? And I want, if I tell the NPC to follow me, I wanted to think about it. And now there's going to be different factors. And like, I not only want those factors to play into whether or not the NPC is going to listen to me, but I want those to also play into how long it takes the NPC to make that decision, right? So if you're like in a panic state and I'm like, come here, follow, you might be like you might panic, right? And you might not make a decision as quickly, and you might be so scared that you actually don't listen, right? Like if the player, who again is like the father of this NPC, is telling the NPC, follow me, and you're like, there's guns going around and explosions going around, the NPC might just like kind of panic and just stay where they are. How's the audio? Let me know in the chat if the audio is okay. It looks okay on my end, but testing, yeah, it looks all right. But let me know how that goes. So I went down this whole rabbit hole because I started thinking, like, okay, well, what kind of traits would play into having an NPC make decisions or not? Like, what kind of things, like somebody who like an older person. Like, okay, let's talk about the characters of the game really quick, because you have the player who is like the father of the family, and then eventually we want to add some companion NPCs. We already have the son, who's our green guy, and he's the little child, the son. And we also want to have a daughter. We also want to have a wife, and then we also want to have like a father-in-law or father, like or grandfather, whatever. However, so music is a little loud. All right, I can fix that. I think I can. All right, that should be better. So the father, and not sure, how's it going? So, for example, so if I tell the child follow, they might panic, right? Because they're scared. Whereas the father, like the grandfather, maybe he's like a hardened war veteran or whatever, and so he would make a very decisive decision. Wait a second. I'm noticing that the heat is. Turn on heat. Or turn on air conditioning. No, it's on. thought the AC was off. The AC's on. It's just getting warm here. It's really warm. It is about 10 after 11 in the morning here in Nandi, and yeah, it's warm. So we have this new personality profile. Nope, not that. Entity profile. That's what it is. So all the NPCs will have they'll have this entity profile. The entity profile consists of a few things. It consists of the personality. These are immutable characteristics, and actually I should probably have it read only, but we're going to keep it there for now. Actually, let's just see if that breaks anything to remove this set. So the personality, these are immutable, I love that word, immutable personality traits. And come here, I want to go on here, and then personality profile. So you have things like trusting. How trusting of a person would this NPC be? How loving are they? How courageous? How decisive? And how composed are they? Those are the personality traits. Now, I just put the plumbing in place I hooked up the plumbing, but I haven't turned the plumbing on. So these things are all here. They're all in place, but they're not really used yet, right? So I'm just describing what I have put in place. So those are personality traits, and you can think of those as things, like I said, they're immutable. They don't change. Then the other thing you have as an entity profile is their mental state. These are things that can change. And you can think of like comfort, for example. Comfort, how comfortable are they? Like if you're sitting down to dinner, they might be very comfortable, but if there's an explosion in the distance or an air raid siren, that's going to cause anxiety and it's going to cause their comfort level to go down, and then you have certain things that can bring it back up. So if you look here at mental state, let's bring that up. We have comfort, we have base comfort rate. Okay, let me explain it. So the two characteristics we have are comfort and calmness, right? And then we have base comfort rate and we have a base calm rate. What those are is how quickly the entity recovers their state. So if the comfort goes way down, right? If it goes way down, it's not going to stay down forever, right? If things kind of return back to a calm level, then the NPC will relax and they'll eventually become more comfortable again. And here but the base comfort rate kind of regulates how quickly, because I think that's something, and actually this should kind of, now that I think about it, this should be an immutable characteristic, because it's basically defining how quickly they recover. And you can think of this as like a child. Like a child, if the child is panicked, they're going to have a harder time recovering from that panic state than maybe the grandfather would have. So this base comfort rate would be lower for the child, but it would be higher for the grandfather, because they're going to recover from those bad states in a different rate. Calmness is the same thing. And then I played around, like AI helped me, and then me and AI worked together, because here you have this adjust calmness. This all happens on a built-in timer. The recovery, that is what I mean, happens on the built-in timer. So, the music is still loud? All right, I'm just going to turn the music off, or maybe I won't. It should be good. Oh shit. And also, I got to apologize. My internet has been spotty, and I just got a thing. Now it's telling me no data. And that really sucks. Okay, now it says excellent connection. So if it's spotty, there's not a lot I can do about it. The internet here at this is a nice Airbnb. It's a really nice Airbnb, but the internet it's mostly reliable, but I guess like 2 nights ago, I lost internet for like an hour. And then I messaged the owner, and they rebooted the router, and the internet came back. And then this morning, like actually about an hour before I came onto the stream, it was the internet went down. I asked them to reboot the router and came back. Sirhia says now it's good and not sure, confirms audio is good. Excellent. So the point of this tick command This is a you could have put it on an update, but I didn't want to put it on an update because update gets called, update is the rate at which update gets called correlates to the frames per second, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Like that's how it works in like SFMS and things like that. So I would imagine that's the same in Unity, but try and I don't know. It seems like a lot to do 60 times a second. So I kind of just have this little tick command that I added that basically just makes sure that it gets called once a second. And then, so these, and what gets called is this adjust calmness and adjust comfort, and that is the recovery rate. So it just kind of happens automatically within this mental state class. And if you look at it, you can see that like calmness and comfort also affect how well you recover, right? The more comfortable, the more comfortable you get in your recovery, the faster you're going to recover. The faster you're going to become even more comfortable. And the same with calmness. The more like if you calm yourself down, you're going to get more calm. You're going to get calm quicker. It's all good. But again, remember that, like I said, that this plumbing is here, it's just not turned on yet. And I'll explain why in a second. Well, I won't explain why, but I'll show you what I mean by that. So that was mental state. And then you have relationship traits. And I don't know, I feel like we might have talked about this, but the relationship traits, they define the relationship of the NPC towards other entities. I should start using entities other than NPC, but whatever. But so like the child will have a relationship with the father, and what we're defining is the trust. How much does the child trust the father? How much does the child love the NPC love the other entity, and how much does it fear? Now, actually, now that I'm looking about this, so when I was actually writing when I was writing mental state, I was wishing that I was streaming, because I encountered something with AI that I talked to you guys a lot about. When I'm kind of like giving my old man programmer wisdom, because before calmness, it had panic, and I told it, I kept telling AI, like AI kept using panic, like it kept using comfort and panicked. I think I can't remember if it was calmness and panicked or comfort and panicked, but it kept using panicked, and I kept and the thing that I kept trying to reiterate to the AI, which eventually I just had to put it into the instructions of the project, and then it finally kind of came around, was with comfort and panicked, you get into these weird states, like if comfort less than 0.5 and panicked greater than 0.5. Like, that's like, okay, wait, if you're not very comfortable, but you're more like there's just that, and I talk about this a lot, there's that mental loop, that mental kind of like flipping you have to kind of do in the middle of the if statement, which I think is just, it makes the code less readable. So therefore, all of the attributes for at least mental state, they should point the same direction. A greater number of the attribute should be a good thing, is kind of how I explained it to the AI, right? A bigger number of panicked is not a good thing. A bigger number of comfort is a good thing. So change the variables to kind of match the logic flow all in the same direction, because those things actually do matter. They matter a lot with reading code. So I was just noticing, where was it? Mental state, okay, no, that's the one we're looking at. Personality profile, trusting, loving, courage, decisive, composure. So I think the same is true here. Like the more trusting, good thing. More loving, good thing. The more courage, good thing. The more decisive, good thing. More composure, good thing, right? But relationship traits, more trust, good thing. More love, good thing. More fear of, not necessarily a good thing. So that one kind of goes contradictory to what I'd say, but I'm not like, what would you say? Like how, because the way I'm thinking of it is, okay, if an NPC has very low trust and very, very low love towards whatever is giving it a command, but it has a high fear, then it's going to do it. No, actually, in that sense, maybe they do point the same direction, right? So if you ask yourself, if the NPC has a lot of this attribute Will will it follow the command? Does it have a lot of, so the answer should be yes for all of them. If it has a lot of trust, yes. If the NPC has a lot of love, yes. And if the NPC has a lot of fear of, then they, yes, will also obey the command. So I guess in that sense, they kind of do point in the same general direction. Okay, so what I meant by it's kind of hooked up, but it's not, it's in place, but it's not hooked up. Are you going to create a personality profile and use probability to determine their behavior? Not so much probability. Not really so much probability. So there will be, so the decision profile. So here you have, over on the right-hand side, this is kind of a static class. I'm going to probably change that at some point. I'm not, the decision profile might become part of the entity profile. I'm not sure. I think that makes more sense. But when you give an NPC a command, it will have 3 different things it can do. It will be able to obey, refuse, or hesitate. What is it? Kill Gonta. Sorry, off topic, but what would you recommend a second-year computer science student do learn in your opinion? I know every case is different, but in general, I work right now for AI cloud computing startup. It depends on what you want to do. I mean, it honestly depends on do you want to write games? Do you want to write business software? Which oddly enough, when I was younger, I wanted to go into business software. I wanted to go into desktop application, back-end development. I had a mild interest in games, but my love was really back-end systems. It depends on what you want to do. I don't know what you want to do. Tell me, tell me what you want to do, and then I can give you some advice. So the NPCs, they'll obey your command, they'll refuse it, or they'll hesitate. Where was I going? Oh, so I think with the hesitate, and you can see here, so this is evaluate, and this takes into considerations how much courage the NPC has, how much trust they have towards the person giving them the order, how much fear they have, how much love they have. It takes all of those things into consideration and kind of normalizes them, and then it kind of comes up with a result to figure out, okay, if they're going to obey, if they're going to refuse, or if they're going to hesitate. And so I went down this rabbit hole of, this whole personality profile. I think, and I haven't hooked this up yet, and it hasn't been decided, but I was thinking about that because I remember reading, I took a game programming course years ago, but I remember reading something that said to the extent, if your game is written right, you will never need a random number. You'll never need a random number generator. And in the few games I've written, that has turned out to mostly be true. I think a lot of people think that games are just kind of random number generator machines, whereas they're not. They're really not. And it's interesting how often you need a random number in games because you don't often need one. I do think the hesitate condition might be a place where we need some kind of random number. So I had to, where is it? So decision profile, evaluate, let me look for this. Yeah, so this is all hacked up, but another thing that I did off screen, or off stream, I guess I should say, was I started messing around with animations. And I'll show you I'll show you my brilliant animation. But you can see right now that when we tell an NPC to follow, the only thing it just panics for a second, and then it actually, oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I have this panic in here to basically illustrate the animation. It's not going to, I put it there because I needed some type of way to kind of trigger the animation when I was trying to get the animation to work. But you can see here what it does is it grabs the NPC's personality profile, it grabs the current relationship of the thing, of actually this is interesting. It only grabs, I did it so it only does the player. So it grabs the relationship profile that the NPC has with the player, and then it calls that decision function that I just showed you with decision profile.evaluate, passes in all this stuff. I forget what so part of the evaluate also is these two things, which are going to be tricky, but I think they might be interesting. And this might be something, I think they'll be interesting. So when you give the NPC an order, not only is it going to take into consideration its personality profile and its relationship with the thing giving it to order, but it'll take in a couple of environmental factors. I'm pretty sure I have talked about this on stream. The two environmental factors I have are the safety, what is the safety of the command, and the utility. How useful, like does the command make sense? But right now we haven't really touched upon that, so I'm just passing in, I just have a hard-coded one for each one. Why don't I have spaces? I would yell at somebody for checking in code like that. But let me show you the animation, and then I'll talk about like what I actually want to accomplish today. So you ready? I'm gonna tell them to follow me. Whoa, whoa, whoa! That was the animation. It took me even with AI's help, it took me like over an hour to actually get that working. It was bizarre. And that is not the final animation. What I was trying to do is I do want him to change color. Like I was thinking, okay, when he just kind of like for like a debugging kind of thing. Like he could cycle through colors while he's thinking, and then maybe like have another animation once he makes a decision. Like if he hesitates, he just stays there in that decision making. If he obeys, maybe he blinks red and just kind of sits there. And otherwise, maybe he just blinks another bright green or something and starts following you. I don't know. I'm just kind of making things up. But that's not what I want to work on tonight. I do for once. I know this is rare. I know this is really rare for me. But I actually do have a goal. I'll be right back. My goal right now is to get some coconut cookies. Actually, no. That is not my goal. Oh my gosh, why is it so warm in here? I'll be right back, not sure. Sorry. Dang it. God damn it. All right. I was going to get some coconut cookies, but instead I have this fruit cheese dip, and I have some crackers. I leave on Saturday, which is the day after tomorrow for me. And it's like I bought way too much food, so now I'm like, oh my God, I gotta eat all my food. Kirill Gontar says, let me rephrase my question. How did you figure out what you actually wanted to do? That's the biggest thing I'm struggling with. How did I figure that out? I honestly don't remember. It was so long ago. Like I taught myself to program years. Like I don't even want to say how old I am, but I'll tell you, I taught myself to program on an Apple IIe, and you know what? This is going to be counterintuitive to me saying that I like doing back-end systems, but I think the thing that kind of got me interested in back-end systems was a game. There was this awesome stock simulator game for Apple IIe. It was the weirdest, and for whatever reason, that kind of I enjoyed the idea that I was somehow, because I started messing with it, and I enjoyed the idea that I was somehow like hacking the stock market or something. I don't know quite how to explain it, but I don't really remember. I was always fascinated by computers that talk to computers, and you would think, okay, well, if you want to do game programming, like MMORPGs, some type of online game. But I didn't have a big interest in games for whatever reason. I had more of an interest in like the calculation heavy aspects of back-end server programming. I think if I wanted to do games, I would have enjoyed doing the server end, like World of Warcraft. It has the client, but there's this entire server end. I am sure that Blizzard has a team who specifically works on the server end of World of Warcraft, and it's probably a big team. So anyway, so I don't know how I figured out what I wanted to work in, honestly. I just kind of did. And then when I was about 18, how old was I? I was like 17 or 18. My grandmother at the time, she was like a VP at a telephone company. Not like a big one. It was a telephone company. This is how old I am. Remember, I'm old. It was a telephone company that owned payphones. And they had payphones all throughout the country. And I was and I was working as an operator, but my grandmother knew that I was good with computers and I could program, and I started talking to the CEO of the company about working on the software that was basically the software that the operators, because when you would you pick up a payphone, you press 0, you would get me, right? I was an operator for the telephone company. But we had an entire computer system where we could either make the collect, we could, because if they were making a collect call, right? We'd have to call the other person and be like, hey, not sure is making a collect call. Do you accept the charges? And if they do, you put it through. This is years ago. So if you're young and your 20s, you probably don't even know what a collect call is. But so I started working on that software, and then a week later, I basically got fired because I got caught making out in the elevator with my girlfriend. But anyway, I don't know how, honestly, I don't know how I figured it out. I don't know how I figured out that I like back-end programming. All right. Oh. That's not as good as I thought it would be. It's actually disappointing. Okay. Let's talk about what we're going to work on today. All right? So we have a really, well, I don't know if I want to call it really good, but we have a good state machine pattern going on with the Sun NPC that will eventually be extended to other NPCs, right? We have this, where'd it go? Where is it? Not sure, where did it go? Oh, here it is. All right. No, that's not it. God damn it, not sure, where did you put it? It's under environment? No. NPC state. Oh, why is that under friendly NPCs? That should be under, no. Okay, so here's the first thing I need to change. So we have this NPC, we have this NPC, we have this state interface, we have this state-based class, and then we have the state machine, which kind of takes these NPC states and kind of manages them. They can change the state, they can do not sure, it says he's not sure. So, but all right, I walked right into that one. You win this round, not sure. You win this round. But so we have, and we actually we have implemented the state machine for the green guy, the Sun, where we give him this idle state where he's just looking at you, and then you can tell him to stay, which just kind of puts him back into the idle state. He also has the follow state where he's following you. And then remember, we talked about how we talked about adding a NPC follow. Why can I not talk? We talked about adding a follow idle state, because if he's following you, but then he doesn't have to walk closer to you anymore, he still needs to pay attention to you, so that if you walk away, he continues to follow you. So that's a different state than the regular idle. The point of all of that is we have that wiring in place for the states to do that work. And what we want to add, but it's not in place for the enemy NPCs. It's only there for the friendly NPC. And if you look at the game while it's running, we have those guys that are outside that are patrolling. I think we have 2 or 3 of them we have 2 of them, I think. Wait, patrol. We'll go to scene view. But yeah, you can see here you have that guy that's patrolling, and I think there's another one somewhere. But they don't have any. That NPC that's just walking around, he doesn't have a state machine attached to him. That's basically, you could kind of think of it as like a hard-coded patrol, right? Like that, he's just hard-coded to just walk in circles. And that's obviously not going to work. We want to have him have a patrol state, and then like an attack state, maybe a warn state, various different states. I was thinking what we could do after I'm done eating. I'm sorry I'm chewing in your ear, but I'm hungry. What we could do, here, you can see both of them here on the screen. If we put that plumbing in place, and tonight, maybe all we do is we have the NPCs, we have them do their patrol in a state, not in this hard-coded mess that I have now, but we have it in a state. It does its patrol, and then we could even maybe have it, if the NPC sees you, it stops, looks at you, and maybe plays a sound. And then I was thinking we could have it like wait for you to go back into the house, because maybe the guard's going to like, I was thinking like, okay, we could say there's a curfew right now. So if he sees you outside, he's going to warn you to go back inside. But then we need logic for the NPC to know if you've gone back inside. And that sounds a bit challenging. I mean, it's not insurmountable. I just don't know how feasible it is to do before the end of this stream. So I think what we could do is, but I think we can accomplish having him patrol on a state and then have him see you and shout at a state. Yeah, he sees you, and he plays a sound like, hey, go back inside. And then he waits 2 seconds, and then he just goes back to patrol. I think that's reasonable. Okay, let's get to work. So the first thing, is there music playing? Oh yeah, there's horror music playing. Okay, well, first thing I need to do, I don't know why I put this in here. This NPC state, the NPC state machine, what happened? No. Go back to the list. I want my list view. How do I get my list view? Oh, my stars and garters. Is it here? Oh, it's here. Okay, all right. So I want the NPC state script, and I think that, and maybe the NPC state machine, and that should go under common NPC. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Actually, let me also look. I don't know what state the source code is in. If I'm in the middle of something. Oh, okay, I was moving so I had kind of started this work. So actually, these changes that are here, they're relevant. So I'm not going to back them out. I'm going to keep them. So, all right, so this is gone. Let's just close everything. Now, we have this NPC spawn script. And currently what the NPC spawn script does, where did it go? Currently what this does, spawn points. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, I got it. So we have those two guys that were patrolling. Those are these two prefabs here. These are the prefab guys. And they're just like, and basically the way I think about it is, I think about prefab things as variables allocated on the stack. I know they're not. I know some pedantic senior guy is going to come in, but I'm, well, actually, they're not. Look, sometimes I try to draw analogies with things in order to understand them. And I know they're not perfect analogies, but the analogy helps me compartmentalize and understand how things work. All right. So the things on the left-hand side, I would think of those kind of as variables you define in a function, right? Those are variables that are on the stack. That's what I meant by that. So if you don't know the difference between a stack and a heap, go look it up. But basically, the stack are variables that you. So this is, again, this is not a precise definition. It's just a definition to kind of give you an understanding. A stack is you can think of a stack as variables you define within a function. You can think of a heap, which is the kind of the alternative. Heap are, so the stack, those variables get allocated before the program, or not before, but like as soon as the program runs. One of the first things it does, it's going to allocate the memory for those stack variables because they're on the stack. The heap, those are variables that you can kind of create on the fly, and that memory gets allocated in the heap. So I kind of think as the prefab guys, these guys that like were patrolling, those are like my stack variables. Whereas this NPC spawner script, this spawns NPCs on demand. Well, not on demand. It spawns them at the beginning of the program, and it spawns them at random points, and spawns like a random number in them or whatever. But we use this instantiate. Where'd it go? Isn't it here? Oh, I got this turned on. Okay. See, we have this instantiate command, and I kind of think of it as like, okay, it's kind of like allocating them on the heap. Like that's kind of, which means it's not necessarily defined before at compile time. It's more or less defined at runtime. That's another way to think of it. Variables that are defined at compile time, variables that are created at compile time. That's a terrible way to think of it. Just forget me. I'm trying to think of a better way to explain it. Variables that are allocated at the beginning of the program when it first starts, and variables that are allocated during the runtime. Stack, heap, stack, heap. All right. Anyway, and to show you what I mean to some extent, the neighbors upstairs are being loud. I don't think they like me very much because I think I woke them up. I think I woke them up yesterday at like 8:30. I took a shower at 8:30, and I like to listen to like a podcast or something when I'm showering, but like who doesn't? It's 2025. Like I guarantee you, everybody watching this stream, you probably listen to something when you're showering, when appropriate, right? And I'm like blasting like this podcast, and then I realized, oh wait a minute. If I can hear them pretty clearly, they can probably hear me pretty clearly. And so I felt bad because these guys, like, they leave the house at like 8 o'clock at night, which I find crazy. Like, I mean, one night I was walking down, there's a little walkway here outside. And I was walking down the walkway, and like 3 of them passed me. And like they had like I'm going to the club clothes, their club, and they're like covered in perfume or cologne, and like yep. I think they're going out to have a good time. So I think that they are kind of enjoying Fiji in a different way than me, whereas I'm enjoying it by going to bed at 9 o'clock and getting up by 5 or 5:30 and watching the sunrise. I think they would prefer to watch the sunrise because they've been up all night. A little bit different style of traveling, but hey, you do you, I'll do me, to each their own. Okay, so I have enabled the NPC spawner script again. Oh, why aren't the guys chasing me? Oh wait, I'm gonna just kill the music. I like having the background music, but I think it's difficult to manage. Oh crap. No, get away. So another thing I did, which I have not been able to test, I added, the sun should be able to be killed now. The green guy, he does have a health. The problem is I haven't been able to like effectively get the NPCs to shoot him, because right now the only way I can get the NPCs to shoot him is if I put him between me and an NPC. But also the NPCs are shooting kind of high, so I think the shots just go right through them. Anyway, these are my heap allocated NPCs. What do I want to do? I want to do this. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to repurpose this NPC spawner script. I think we can piggyback off of it. Because right now we have this spawn NPCs function. We can basically just comment that out, and because we're going to write a new one essentially. It's going to be a little, let me see. I'm going to delete me, and then delete me. Okay. Because like this stuff, like with NPC count, Transform spawn points. No. So what we need to add to this is all right. We want to know how many, oh, do we? Am I overthinking this? I might be overthinking this. Like maybe there's no point in having them as heap, right? Because, well, let me think about, I'm thinking out loud, so I don't have an answer right now. I'm just thinking as I talk. So I might change my mind 6 different times. Maybe we don't need / want the spawn script because I can just, can I set this state? No, I can't. Okay, so I have, here's one of the NPC guys. He has his NPC shooter script, which is disabled. Oh yeah, I turned that off. The chase player script I turned off because those are basically going to be states. The line render, the enemy patrol script. So actually I could just add enemy. Okay, what's this enemy? Okay, this enemy NPC is doing absolutely nothing. So, all right, let me change this. So what I'm getting at is I have to manually define them, which I don't think is a big deal. So if I attach the enemy NPC script, okay, so that went missing. So I think I can just delete this. Enemy patrol script. We're just going to disable that for now. No, I got really quiet. I'm thinking this is what a genius at work looks like. Okay, enemy NPC. Let's attach enemy NPC to this guy. I'm going to disable this other guy for now. I just want to worry. Well, which one is on the inner? I don't know. All right, so he's disabled. So we have enemy NPC. So here you see things like even the enemy NPC, he has a personality profile. You can see here how trusting, loving, courage, all that stuff shows up, mental state, base comfort rate, all that stuff. But we don't need to worry about that right now because right now the enemy NPCs are just going to be cold-blooded killing machines. That's what we want right now. They're not going to have a personality. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Enemy NPC. Is that the same thing? Oh. It's getting that from base NPC. Because I'm like sitting here like, wait, where is all that? Where are all those? Look at all these attributes. It not only had the entity profile, it had like rotation speed, move speed, direction, max health. And I'm like, where's all that coming from? It's coming from the base NPC. What is target? Oh, target is... like if you tell it follow, you're telling it follow the target, and that's what it is. Okay, and you can set that at runtime, so we don't need a target. Okay, all right, okay. Focus, Addy, focus. So let's look at the Sun NPC script for some guidance, how we did it there. So you can see here under Sun, inside of the start method, we simply just set the state. So what we're gonna need a new state. We're going to need like an enemy patrol state. So let's start there. Actually, let's go ahead. Let's do this properly. I've noticed some weird behavior when I add a new script through Visual Studio Code and then try to import it into Unity. So let's just add it through Unity. Oh wait, I have an enemy. Oh, that's the other enemy patrol. Should I go ahead and break this? Yeah, why not? Let's just comment this out for now. Okay. So what I want is I want to look at NPC idle. And a lot of programming is copy and paste, and that's what I'm doing. So this is going to be enemy patrol state. Enemy patrol state, which derives from NPC state. Patrol has one L, not two. Put pat roll. Maybe it's enemy pat roll state. Oh, wait, do I have a... Wait a second. I got to check something off screen. Sorry. Okay. All right. So we have this enemy patrol state, and then... So this enemy base NPC... Okay, so that's the NPC target. That's the NPC of which this state belongs to. We don't need it to be a friendly NPC. Can we get away with it? Just no, I think we might want it to be an enemy NPC. But this was another thing I was thinking of. Like, have I gone a little too much? Like, does enemy NPC and friendly NPC, is that like that feel? Parts of me think. Tell me what you think, but parts of me feel like that is a little too rigorous. And hear me out. The reason I say that is like, well, what if we want an enemy to flip, like to suddenly be a friend, or like maybe later we add an empathy, and then he has a really high empathy, and that was another thing I was thinking about. Not sure in terms of probability. I was thinking about the beginning of the game. We could dice roll a lot of these personality traits too, which would add a dynamic thing to the game as well. But maybe one of those things is we want a friendly NPC, or we want an enemy NPC to turn friendly, or vice versa. Like maybe the father turns against you, or maybe you meet a neighbor who is a friendly NPC. I don't see, so here's my reasoning right now. I don't see a reason to check that this is friendly or enemy. Obviously, we wouldn't need to check if it's friendly. So I think we'll just go ahead and do, in that case, I don't think we need a constructor. Okay, so we got that. I think we have to implement enter, right? Private. Oh, and then we have this other, oh. I think we are okay with this. Let's just override. Yeah, wait, base NPC. What's NPC state look like? I think friendly enemy are subsets of NPC. They are, but what I'm debating is, do they need to be mutually exclusive? And I'm not convinced they do. What is really different, what really should differentiate between, the only things that should really differentiate between an enemy and a friendly NPC are the state that it's in, right? A follow state as opposed to an attack state. That is really what the difference is between a friend and an enemy NPC. And therefore, the distinction of friendly enemy kind of becomes unnecessary. And so that's why I'm like, well, maybe I can just get rid of it. It could just, yeah, and yeah, I think, I'm not sure said the same exact thing I said. It could be just a state of NPC. Okay, so do I have to, I don't have to do anything with the constructor. Okay, abstract enter, abstract exit, and abstract NPC. Okay, so. All right, let's just copy and paste the idle state for now. Let's get these, easy, easy. All right. Override enter, and then we can get rid of this. NPC target. I don't think we're gonna worry about target. The only thing we're gonna worry about right now is NPC, okay. So what we want, enemy NPC, Sun, in the start method, we simply want to set the state, right? State, I'm going to do this dot state machine. Yep, AI got it. This, okay, perfect. And then enemy patrol. Okay, here's a snag. Enemy NPC. So I guess okay. Where I'm getting stuck right now is how the state should know which path to take, right? So the way that I've defined this, let me show you. So I've defined this perimeter patrol path. And it's literally just a, let's see, forward, fire point. Oh, yeah. So on the enemy patrol script, I have waypoints, and these waypoints are just game objects that have XYZ coordinates. That's all they are. And then all I do for patrol is the NPC starts at 1, and then I set their direction to the next one, and then it gets to that, and once it gets into a certain radius of the next one, it switches to the next one, and then that's all I do. Where I'm getting stuck is how should the patrol path be assigned to the NPC? Is that because part of it feels like that is an attribute of the NPC itself, but part of it also feels like it's part of, I think it's going to be part of the NPC, because it's either going to be part of the NPC or part of the state. I don't think the state makes too much sense. I mean, it does make sense. That's the problem. I guess, enemy patrol script. What is the existing enemy? Okay, okay, I commented it all out. So yeah, so it's just a bunch of transforms with the waypoints. Because if I put it as a part of the enemy patrol state, no, I'm going to make it part of the, it's going to, I don't like it. It doesn't feel clean. It really doesn't feel clean. I mean, now part of me is thinking like, well, maybe instead of enemy NPC, you could have a derived class that's enemy patrol NPC. But again, patrol is part of the state. But it doesn't make sense to put it on the state. It kind of does make sense to put it on the state. I'm really stuck here. This is like one of those non-engineering things I'm stuck on. I'm stuck on just design, which is often the case with me. I don't know what it's like for others, but the logic generally is not a roadblock for me. Usually it's design. All right, just make a decision and go forward. So the enemy patrol state, it is going to have the patrol points. It needs to know the patrol points, right? Because it's doing the patrolling. My struggle is, should that set of patrol points live in the state, or should it live in the enemy? I think it's okay to have states that are not used. Yeah. Oh, it could just be a state of the, oh wait, no, that's an old message. Okay. Might have a little bit more dip. Is Razman in the house? Because I know what Razman would say. He would say we need a singleton. Just make it all a singleton. All right. Enemy patrol. Enemy patrol state. We're actually going to override. We're going to actually do public. This is actually going to be private. Private transform. We'll make that underscore waypoints. We're going to pass in. It feels dirty doing this, but it's C sharp, so I think it's okay. Does this work like C++? Can I do this? Does that work in C sharp? I really want to know. Let me make sure I don't have a private conversation with Grok up. Okay, good. Is this valid C sharp? Oh, shit. Shut up. Is this, oh my God, it is so odd in here. Is this valid C sharp? Is not valid due to the syntax in the errors constructor initialization list. All right. Does it recommend a way to fix it? Okay. I just gotta assign it inside. Okay. Private read only. Okay. I was trying to use some C++ syntax there, but yeah, no surprise, doesn't work. Waypoints equals waypoints. Okay, so in the enemy NPC class, for now we're going to do it like this. I feel like it's cheating, but patrol points. No, I have a better idea. Private, this is going to be private. God damn it, private. Private enemy patrol state, because what we want to do, patrol state, we want to create it here. And then we want to set it here, because what we want, we don't want to have to recreate that. This is a little small optimization, I guess. Because otherwise what would happen, so basically all I'm doing is I'm creating a state object ahead of time. I'm doing it once. Because think about this. If the NPC is patrolling, and then the NPC goes to yell at you to go back inside. And then once you go back inside, it's going to go back to back to patrolling. What you don't want to do is you don't want to create the patrol state, change to the warn state, go back inside, and then once the warn state finishes, create another patrol state. Because you've already created one, it's the same thing. So that's a small optimization, because creating new objects is always expensive. And destroying them is too. Although I think with C sharp, I think maybe the garbage collector, you don't have a lot of, I guess you have some control over it with the garbage collection, but you definitely have control over creating new objects. And creating new objects can be expensive. So that's why I'm creating this patrol state, but I'm going to create it in start because something tells me patrol points aren't set in the constructor. I think patrol points would be null if we try to do it in the constructor. Okay. So here's something interesting. I don't know why I did it this way. Well, this is update. Friendly NPC does not have an update. What about base NPC? It doesn't. Here's the code for that animation. The blink twice coroutine. It's basically you just have an animator. I found, the reason I struggled with the animation was I found Unity's methodology for creating animations confusing. It just confused, like it didn't, like the time, like you have this little timeline thing with these diamonds and you have to press record and it didn't seem very intuitive to me. Well, I say that because I didn't understand it, and like I kind of came away, I got it working, still not quite understanding it, but I was like, you know what, it works, it worked good enough for now, let's just leave it at that. But we're gonna have to revisit it at some point. Of course, at the rate that I talk and go, it might be 6 years from now. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, I was talking about update. So we go back. What I was getting at here is the state machine lives here in base NPC, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, state machine, but where's it defined? Yes, so the state machine lives here in the base NPC. I feel like base NPC, it's a mono behavior. It should have an update, right? Like, am I crazy? But the base NPC update should be virtual. This is a good use case. Now, I'm assuming C# works the same way. This is a good use case for a virtual private function. Now, do you know what a virtual private function is? So first, do we know what a virtual function is? Let me know. And then, do you know what a private function is? Let me know. And then there's this it's like Halley's Comet. It only comes around every once in a while, right? It only comes around every now and then. But a virtual private function, there is a use case for that, but it's rare. Actually, I don't know how rare it is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create it because it's kind of like an en passant in chess. It's kind of like when you it's not super rare, but it's rare enough that when you see it, you got it. It's like en passant is forced. That's the joke in chess. En passant is forced because you have to do it. Explain the functions. Private, yes. Virtual, no. So private, right, means you can only refer to that thing in the class in which it is defined. Virtual, if you have a virtual function, that means here is the base implementation for the function. However, subclasses, meaning classes that derive from that base class, subclasses can override that function with their own functionality, right? So I think we do it, I'm trying to, like this start method, protected virtual start. The protected means that the base class and derived classes can call start. And the virtual means, but they can also implement their own start, which I probably do in do I do it in Sun? Let's see. I do. So remember, I showed you that start in base NPC, right? Protected virtual void start, meaning, again, just to kind of reiterate, protected means that the class itself and in subclasses can call start. Virtual means those derived classes can also have their own start function. And so if you look in Sun, you can see I do that. The protected means the same thing. Protected means that it can be called by that class itself or derived classes. Now, this is another interesting case because it's protected inside of Sun, which I'll talk about that in a second if you want. The override is just kind of like confirming the virtual. It's like, okay, I'm overriding that virtual function. Mind you, there's not a virtual here, which also changes things slightly. But the main thing I wanted to show you is this base.start. So what that means is I'm calling, remember, I had base functionality here in base.NPC with this start method right here. So by calling base.start, I am calling that function that actually lives in base NPC.cs. And then I'm carrying on with my own function. Now I can comment that out. There is nothing forcing me to do that, right? You kind of got to know, well, should I call the base function or should I not? Okay, so to explain why I kind of got a little excited about private virtual and why it's kind of like not really used that much. Let me give you an example. Let's just say this is, mind you, I am inside of base npc.cs. Let's say I have private void hello, right? And I'm not going to, let's just say it literally just prints hello. Now, hello from base NPC. Now, let's say I wanted to call hello from Sun NPC. I'm gonna start calling. I'm just gonna talk about friendly NPC because I hate saying Sun NPC. Let's say I wanted to call hello from friendly NPC. Well, I'm gonna get an error because it's private, right? If I go into friendly NPC and you're gonna see, like, if I go into just a function here and I try to call hello, it should give me a red squiggly. The code is in a mess right now, so nothing's going to compile. But this would not work. This would not work. I'm surprised. I'm surprised the linter is not. Let me, if I save. If I save, will it work? Huh? No, it's interesting. The linter's not picking that up. Anyway, so this is an error because hello is marked as private. I can't call it from a base class or from a subclass. Even though friendly NPC is a base NPC, I cannot call private functions of the base NPC because they're private. They're very private, very, very private. Okay. Razman, I'm not here for 2 streams and now I see serialized field. I see how it is. You influence. You missed it. I think you missed the. I think you missed the beginning of the stream, Razman. I'm making everything a singleton. It's Singleton Wednesday. Okay, so that's what the private is. I can't call friendly NPC. So let's say that I want to be able to call friendly NPC. Well, I can change it to public or I can change it to protected. Let's just change it to protected for now. Okay, great. But let's say that I wanted to have my own hello function in here that says hello from friendly NPC. Look, the frickin' AI knows what I'm getting at. You see that? Oh, come back, AI. Yeah. AI generated a bunch of junk, but you can see. So this, if I call hello, if I create a friendly NPC object and then I call the hello function, it is only going to print hello from friendly NPC. If I wanted to print both of them, hello from base NPC, and I wanted to print hello from friendly NPC, I could do this, base hello. The AI knows me. Okay, so that's private. That's what a private function. That's what no. That's what virtual is. That's what it allows you to override these things. I'm not sure if override is required in C# or not. It is in C++. I would imagine it's required in C# as well, but I'm not sure. Okay, so let's get back to private virtual. Well, remember, virtual allows you to override the function. It allows you to implement your own functionality. And then what I could do is if I had a function, this is not going to compile, but I'm going to illustrate it. If I did this, yeah, hello, right? This is fine. It's going to call this function because I have overridden the virtual function. And then it's going to call the base function, which is base hello from base NPC, and then it's going to do debug log. All right. I can call hello from anywhere. It's public. I can make it protected, and then I could only call it from within the class itself, right? I could only why can I not type? I could make it protected, and then I could call it from like interact, like I am now, if I made it protected. But what if I call it? What if I make it private? Well, what if I made it private in base NPC? And I think I already talked about that. If I made it private here, now suddenly I got syntax errors. I can't call it there. I can't call it there because it's private. However, there is still a use case for I can't call that function because it's private, but I want to be able to override it. I want to be able to insert my own functionality into it. So I can do this. Private override. So here, now what's happening here is base NPC decides when it gets called. Base NPC says, hey, I'm going to call hello. I'm going to call hello. But friendly NPC comes along and says, oh, well, actually, I need to do this. Private virtual. So base NPC is saying like, hey, I decide when to call hello, but I'm making it virtual which is kind of like saying you can kind of change what it does, but I decide when to call it. So I can come into friendly NPC and I can put my own function. I can have my own, I can implement my own hello function, but only base NPC can decide when to call it. So the update function is an excellent example of that, because literally the Unity game engine is deciding when to call update. And you can see update is private. Is it private in mono behavior? Maybe you know that, Razman. But the point is that the Unity game engine, it decides when to call update. Maybe I can call, maybe this is a case where I can call update somewhere else, oddly, I don't know. But this would be a perfect use case because I'm not interested in actually calling update myself. I'm only interested in giving it my own behavior. So let me clean up my mess. I created a bunch of little sample code and I probably already lost the context of what I created. Okay, Sun NPC, where the freak did I, okay, I added this. So I hope that kind of clears it up a little bit. So the whole point of that is what I'm going to do. I had a girlfriend once, she used to make fun of the way I said going. And now every time I say going, I'm going to do this, every time I say it, I get self-conscious. So I'm gonna have, so you can see in Sun NPC, all I'm doing is calling this state machine.update. I see no reason why I would never want that to not be called. Or well, I see no reason why I wouldn't want that to be called. Or you know what I'm trying to say. I would always want that to be called. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put it, since it is update and it's kind of an important function, I'm going to make it private because I don't want other subclasses just calling it willy-nilly. But I'm going to make it virtual so that I can define my own behavior. And you can see the AI is pretty spot on. It's just saying if state machine not equal null. I'm not a big fan of this pattern. State machine is actually really, really important. So if it's null, I'm just going to return quickly. And then in that case, I can just do update. And then virtual. So now I can just get rid of this. I can get rid of the update call in Sun NPC because it's being called in the base class. Now, how does that relate to enemy patrol or enemy NPC? That's a great question because I completely forgot. What were the functions I needed to implement base NPC? I don't think there were any. Were there any abstract functions here? No. Okay. So this should actually be good. Now I am going to need my own. No, I won't. State machine. So that's all going to be done in state machine. So enemy patrol state. I'm going to rename this. So we have enter. Okay. Now. Oh man, this gets really tricky because it needs the arrival threshold. It needs the agent. Okay, it doesn't need that. Okay, these should be applicable. Okay, so I need the nav mesh agent and I need the current index. I know that I tried this before. I know, so here I get the nav mesh agent and I set it here. I don't know why I don't have underscores. I know that I cannot set that in the constructor. I tried that and the nav mesh agent was null in the constructor. So I know that I need to set this in enter probably. So let's see. Oh, but then enter is going to get called every time. But NPC state is, where did NPC state go? Yeah, it's just an interface. So it's not a mono behavior. So there is no start. No, 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 no. I can do it in the constructor because this is not a mono behavior and it's getting created in the start method already, right? We did it here. So yes, 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 yes. Okay, agent update. If waypoint link, set destination, is this one of the, okay, this one's good. I'm not reversing the logic here because waypoint length, I mean, I don't think waypoint length is that important to just completely abort out of the constructor. Not that we're doing anything else after this, but you know, whatever. Okay, set destination, waypoints length, current index and position. That's, okay, this needs to be underscore. This also needs to be underscore. This needs to be underscore. Okay. Waypoint length. Now for the update. Okay, so the NPCs return to null, return null. Let's just copy this. I don't think I need this. Okay. If agent path, okay, so if agent path pending and an agent remain distance less than arrival threshold, which I still haven't figured out where arrival threshold's coming from, but we're just gonna put it here for now. I think it should just be a private float. Arrival threshold. Current index underscore equals current index underscore +1 modded by the waypoint length right there. Agent set destination. Okay, it's underscore waypoint length underscore waypoints underscore current index underscore. Okay, so this is literally just loop. The update method is literally just seeing, okay, is the agent closer? Is he closer? Is he closer? Oh, he's within a certain distance, so we move to the next waypoint. All right. So this state looks fine, right? Like that state, this makes sense. The question, I'm struggling with waypoints and arrival threshold. Now what did I have under base NPC? I thought okay, rotation speed, move speed, detection distance, stop distance, the distance at which an NPC will stop moving towards the target. I think we could repurpose that, right? I think that makes sense. I'm not thrilled with this. I'm really not thrilled with it. And also, I'm adding a third thing to the constructor, which I'm not thrilled about either. But let's just get something working. Sorry, I had to check a message over here. Okay. All right, arrival threshold. So now the enemy NPC let's just hard code it for now. Just for now. Just calm down. Just calm down. Just calm down. Okay, so the enemy NPC, we now are creating an enemy NPC who has his initial state of patrol. The initial state of patrol is doing exactly what we need it to. It's cycling through the waypoints, setting the destinations as needed. Great. We have an NPC prefab to which okay, so we disabled the other ones. Okay, so that's the disabled one. This is the one we're working on now. Yes, because it has all the personality stuff. Because of base NPC, public. But it doesn't have the waypoints. Well, maybe there's some errors. Okay. Oh, virtual or abstract members cannot be private. Oh, really? Okay, well, forget everything I said about private virtual in C#. That is 110% a thing in C++. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess we'll make this protected. Is private virtual a thing in C# like in C++? There is no direct equivalent to C++'s private virtual function concept, but let's break it down to clarify. So no, so that's not a thing. That's one of the things. Yeah, see, in C++, private virtual methods can still be overridden by derived classes, even though they're private, because virtual mechanism is separate from access control. So, yep, so it's exactly what I said. No, that's interesting. Okay, well, you know, I'm learning about C# more every day. Okay, so we just had to make update virtual, protect it. That shouldn't be a big deal. Enemy patrol. No. That's the, what is that? Okay, let's see if we have any errors. Grok is smarter lately. I like Grok. It's faster. I still am leaning towards ChatGPT, but I like Grok is like, if Grok had the project feature that ChatGPT has, where you could define different projects, attach documents to the projects, attach instructions about the projects. If Grok had that, I would probably just switch over to Grok, because Grok has gotten better. Okay, what am I doing? Let's see if we have any errors. The name get component. Oh, yeah, because it's not a mono behavior. Oh. Okay. This is getting out of hand, because now I'm like, okay, well, I can just pass the agent as a, I can add another argument there. I can add another thing. I got it. 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 What we're going to do. Wait, I lost it. No, I got it. 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 We're going to. Fuck. Oh, no. We're good. Just shut up. We're good. Okay. I put this on enemy NPC. I've already passed in this to the patrol state. So I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. And honestly, we should probably, now I'm thinking like we should have like a patrol interface. But let's just calm down. We could have a patrol. It actually kind of makes sense to have a patrol interface. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Add additional state as needed to the base class. Kind of. Yes. So what we can do, I've already defined it as an enemy NPC. That's excellent. So I should just be able to do, but I'm not going to call NPC. I'm going to call this.npc. So that should work. NPC. Enemy NPC, arrival threshold, patrol points. I'm going to use lower, no. Enemy NPC. Okay, I'm just going to do this. What is it? Patrol points? Patrol points. enemy NPC dot patrol points. Okay, so that should be good. That should be good. NPC good component. Okay. We got it. We're doing it. Okay, enemy NPC. So we can have patrol points on it. And like I was saying, we should either have an enemy patrol NPC class or a patrol interface, which I kind of like the patrol interface, but I forget the weirdness. Wait, aren't one of these a profile, or not a profile? One of these is a, let me look at my mental state. Let's see. No, that's a class. That's a class. That's a class. Oh, they're all classes. Okay, I thought one of them was an interface. Didn't we have an interface with variables? NPC state has health. Maybe? Right, because we could do public interface I patrol. We're going to do patrolman. Right, so patrol points arrival threshold. No. Over engineering. Stop. Stick to the point. Okay, let's see what compile errors we get. Enemy patrol state does not contain a constructor. It takes 3 arguments. Yes, because now we only need 1 because your boy here is a genius. Okay, there we go. Easy. All right. The name NPC does not exist in the current context. I guess I just forgot. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Easy. Gotta check something over here. Okay, no. I'm still here. Why would you reset my chat? Okay. Enemy NPC does not contain a definition of arrival threshold. Okay. It's because it's with a capital A. The name agent does not exist in the current context. Okay, so that is an interesting one. Wait. Here. Oh, underline. Come on. Urgh, so close. Enemy patrol state is missing a class attribute extension of native. What? Enemy patrol state. Is there something from NPC state that I need to override that I didn't? I have enter, I have update, and I have exit. Public override. Public abstract, those are all good. Enemy patrol state is missing the class attribute extent. I don't know what that is. References runtime script and scene file. Okay, let's get rid of this warning. Okay, I should get rid of one warning. That unfortunately will not magically fix everything else. Maybe it will. No, it didn't. Dereference a possibly null reference. Okay, we'll do this. If this dot NPC equals null. Okay, we'll just do that. I mean, NPC is going to be an enemy NPC. We don't need that check. That check is our word. That check is retarded. Okay, we don't need that check. Okay, so that should get rid of one warning. All right. Oh, come on, baby boy. Come on. References. I don't understand that error. Can I copy? Let's see. Explain this Unity error. I feel like we're adding too much structure. No, we're not. We're not. The problem was we didn't have any structure. We just had a mess. We had an AI mess. It's like, oh yeah, just put this here, put this here, put this here. No, we're creating the structure we need. But I'm checking myself because I'm deviating away from things like adding an interface for a patrol, like and adding an enemy patrol NPC base class and things like that. So I disagree that we're adding too much structure. I think that this is because what we had was just a mess. And this is a very similar exercise to what we did a couple of weeks ago when I was at home with the state. Remember when we took the mess that was the green guy NPC, and we created the state and we created the base the NPCs. So we just took that, and so we had that entire state. We built that entire state machine. So we're taking that structure and we're applying it to the enemy NPCs, right? Because all we did when we did that was apply it to the green guy. He can follow, he can stay, and now he does it under a nice structure. Now all we're doing is just taking that same structure and putting it in place for the enemies. Okay. What is this? Oh my God, this is too. I don't want to read a short novel. Just give me the basics. Public virtual void. Oh, is attached to a game. Enemy patrol state is attached to a game object, but doesn't inherit from. Oh. I know why. Because I think this. No, not that. This. Okay, well, they got shorter. Okay. Oh yeah. We don't have. Okay, but. We don't know if this works yet. We don't know if this works yet. And actually, I can guarantee that it doesn't. Because I haven't set the waypoints. Yeah, patrol points right here. Okay. And then I think I have a prefab. Patrol path. I'm going to use patrol path 2. Can I just do this? Okay, because the waypoints are part of the NPC. Oh, what? Oh, wait, what? Who? All right, I'm gonna try this. I don't like this, but this is. Oh my gosh! Oh my stars and garters! Come on. Oh, I wonder if the other thing would have worked. Would that have worked? Did I just drag it to the? Oh, it no, it didn't work. It didn't work. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do this. Ah! Okay. So that NPC, let's just close this and go back to the other way. That NPC should have waypoints. He has an arrival threshold. I think we need to add vehicles so you can drive around and run over enemies. I mean, I kind of love that idea. Get to work. Get to work on Donut Notchor. You do. I look forward to your pull request. Okay. One thing I want to do. Let me see. I dragged this waypoint. Oh, phooey. I dragged the outer one, so I want to do patrol point 1. Let me see. So patrol perimeter. Okay, this is the NPC. I want to look at the properties of that guy. I want to delete all of these. Delete. And then I want to look at the patrol path of this. And I want to take all of these waypoints and put them over here. Okay, so now this should be the waypoints of the inner one. I wanted to have the NPC patrol the inner one, right? Okay. This is good. Okay. Now let's run it, and hopefully we should see the guy walking around. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Where is he? Well, where's this NPC at? Oh, he's over there. Okay. Let's put him closer to the path. I think I just got a phone call. That was a half hour ago. Okay, let's see. All right, we don't see him. He's just standing still. He's not doing anything. Huh. Well, that's certainly not supposed to happen. He's just standing still. So we go through. Okay, let's just, maybe something in here is crapping out early? I'm not sure. This is exhausting, guys. Like doing this and like talking and entertaining you guys. I'm freaking ready for a nap. I was going to go out after this, but now I might lay down for like an hour. Okay. Oh. Ooh. What? Okay. Something. This is good in a way because I suspect I'm missing something intrinsic, which generally is like, oh, I forgot to flip this switch, and then when you flip the switch, it works. So this is potentially good. Okay, so we're creating. Oh. I think there was some exception somewhere. Wait a minute, what happened? Because look, okay, it didn't go to the next line. Let me make sure I didn't fat finger something, even though I'm using a mouse. But okay, so let me start this over. So what I've done is I've set a breakpoint on base.start, which should call the base class's start method, which in this case is base NPC. Start should do all of this. Let's make sure that's, let's see what's happening here. Is animator null? Oh, I bet animator is null. Oh, animator is null. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah, animator is null. Okay, I think for now we can just do this. I think that is safe to do. If the only thing the base class is doing is setting the animator and then doing animations, but there's no animations on this, on the enemy NPC. So all the NPCs will eventually, they will have an animator, but we don't need one right now. So let's just, and I don't want to create one because if you create an animator, you need an animator controller and then it becomes a whole thing. And it's just like, and the next thing you know, Razman's telling me to use a singleton, not sure is just, you know, wanting to add flying saucers, and it's a whole thing. I don't need that in my life right now. It's hot. Why is it so hot in here? Okay, let's start over. All right. Okay. Oh, this is a different object. Yeah, it's a different object. Okay. Okay, let's go to the scene. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Did you see him? He's patrolling. He's patrolling. Oh, yeah. So this is good because remember, before we just had a hack job of a script, right? Like we just had a script that was just like a one-off kind of, and it's just sitting there. Now we have, I'm just making sure he's turning. Yes, we have an NPC that is turning based off of the state machine that we built. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And what that means is now we can add other states to it, hopefully, quote unquote, easily. I'm kind of exhausted now. We've got 13 minutes left. I don't know if we're going to, so I think I'm going to call it a day. Let me check in this code because I literally am exhausted. Okay, NPC patrolman. Oh, it's a prefab. I don't even know if I need that, but I'm going to check it in. Along with that, I'm checking all that I need it. Okay, game Unity, I generally don't. Game Unity, I generally don't review. I guess I could, but like you look at this and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that looks all right. Base NPC, yeah, we just put the update method into the base NPC class. NPC state, we moved it to a new name with NPC state machine. I'm not going to check that in. Enemy NPC. Oh, there's all that junk code in one of them. Here. Yeah, this code. So we have enemy NPC, that we got that. Enemy patrol. Yeah, we deleted that file essentially and then renamed it enemy patrol state. NPC spawner. I'm gonna leave that alone. Oh, that's gonna break. Do we even want it right now? Let's leave it alone for now. Nah, that's fine. NPC, okay, we moved NPC state, we moved that, we moved that, we moved that. Sun NPC, yes, we moved the update to the base class. What was this? Oh, I just added some spaces. And then, okay, siren trigger, none of that. Okay, so added state machine to enemy NPCs. So that's good. So that should, and the thing is that this structure then allows us to more easily add more states to the enemy NPCs. Because if we try doing it the old way, it's going to be spaghetti, right? It's just going to be, another script for this that has no relation, if this, then that. Because when you start getting into like complicated state machines, they can get overly complicated really quickly. And so that's why it's better to just kind of like try and get your structure in place as early on as you can. I am actually really exhausted. That was actually really tiring. But I also got up really early this morning. For my day job, we had there's a meeting. There was a meeting today at 2 p.m. that I needed to attend. 2 p.m. East Coast time. 2 p.m. East Coast time, which is 6 a.m. here. And so I was like, I've never needed an alarm clock. Like I've never needed an alarm clock. So I'm like going to bed last night. I'm like, all right, yeah, no, I'll just wake up at 5:30. Just kind of like, just telling my body, I'm going to wake up at 5:30. I'll wake up at 5:30. I woke up at 4:45 and I'm like, crap. If I go back to sleep now, I'm going to sleep past 6 o'clock. So I got out of bed at 4:45. And so now it's kind of catching up with me. It's exhausting. I'm tired. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. This was fun. I'll probably be back on Friday. I'll be back on Friday. Then next week I'm in California, so maybe we'll do some streams, though that means it'll be, instead of 12 o'clock noon or 11 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know, but I'll be back on Friday, which will be my Saturday, which actually, sadly, is the day I'm leaving here. I'm leaving Saturday, which kind of has me bummed. Like, I really like it. Like, there was I'll show you. I'll show you where I'm at. There was a moment a couple of days ago where I simply went to the grocery store. Where's Naughty? I simply went to the grocery store, and I've been going to the grocery store every day because I get sodas and get cookies or whatever. I just get stuff at the grocery store, but I go every day, and so I get out of the car, and it was just like, yep, get out of the car, gotta go over there to go inside, and blah blah blah. But it was just like it became a ritual kind of. And I think that's one of the things that really helps me connect to places when I travel is establishing these routines. Not ritual is a bad word, but routine is a better word. It's become a routine. And I establish these when I establish these routines in different places, it really helps me like kind of connect with the place. Like, and I was talking about this on my travel channel. Addie Goes Places, please check it out. But I was talking about it on the video that I was recording because it's like I like to feel like I live there. Like when I go to these places, I like to feel that I live in the place. And I kind of had that moment a couple days ago when I just simply got out of the car and started walking to the grocery store kind of effortlessly. And I know what you're thinking, like, well, how much effort does it take to walk to the grocery store? And it doesn't. But the point is like, at that point, I had done it so much that it was just go. Oh, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm going. I don't know. It was a neat little moment that really made me kind of connect with Fiji and kind of feel like I live here a little bit. And in some sense, I do live here, right? I've lived here for the past week and a half, and I'm going to live here for a few more days. This is where I lay down. This is where all my stuff is. This is where I shower, go to the bathroom, sleep, eat, So, but yeah, no, I'm going to be a little sad to leave Fiji. And I'm really, really tempted to go to this conference in California that I have to go to and then just come back to this part of the world. I'm really tempted to do that, but no, I got a dog at home that needs me, so I don't think I will. I miss my puppy anyway. So, all right, guys, like I said, I'll see you on Friday. Thanks for joining me, and take care. Bye.